Welcome, guys. We are live. We are live. Just waiting for my beautiful wife, my beautiful other half, the wisdom that's inside me. Hallelujah. But yes, welcome, guys. Shalom, shalom. Peace and blessing. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. Thanks for tuning in, guys. When you enter the chat, make sure you like the video. Yeah, it's been an awesome day for us over here. As you see, it's nighttime. It's about what 7:20. So yeah, 7:20 p.m. So yeah, we've been pretty busy today. Last minute. If you guys don't know, follow our members only channel because we give you behind the scenes of what we doing like today. We went to go see some investment properties. It was very beautiful, man. The place that we are in now. If you really don't know where we are, you guys got to really tune in to members only and to know where we are or come visit like Claudia did. That was beautiful seeing another believer here and just enjoying it. And yeah, so Claudia here, shalom, shalom. Bantu Lisa, shalom. Greetings to you all. Um, but yeah, it's great. I'm telling you guys, it's like the place that we are in. Every time we go see a property or something, it gets better and better. It just gets better and better. It's like, man, it's so many options. So that's a question for whoever's watching. Shalom, shalom, hello, shalom, Aki, shalom, family. Um, that's a good question. Would you rather be in a place where it's too many options, or would you rather be in a place where it's little options? Because that's basically what it is. Like every place that we go to, it's like, man, that was beautiful. Now this is beautiful. Dang, this is beautiful. Man, this makes sense. This just it's just so good. So it's just like, man, whatever we pick is gonna be good.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm feeling. I was just saying what we was doing today, looking at investment properties and stuff, and everything that we look at is just beautiful. It's I don't want to say it's better and better, but it's just like equally yoked for the goodness of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. We've seen a lot of investment properties, and this is like the ideal time. If you guys are new here, we are journeying with us. We've been in Africa for 4 going on 5 years. I know we were talking about that yesterday. We were like, wow, 4 years ago, we were in Zanzibar.
Yeah, we was
Yeah,
planning our trip to Zanzibar.
we were in Zanzibar.
Yep.
We were in Zanzibar in Stone Town, looking at the ancient big tortoises.
Hmm.
But this video is really about what this means. And y'all know what this I'm talking about. All over my Instagram is just filled with like black men and women that are like, "Ooh, another presidency for your president, your new president." And so everybody's just like grieving, and I feel it. I definitely feel it because I remember those days. But if there was ever a time for you to situate your lifestyle and move abroad,
What did I see? I saw I
like
saw
it's now.
I saw a post. Um, just in a just in 24 hours, it was 200%. I don't, dang, I don't know the facts of it, but basically, it was like people moving to Canada just because the president got elected.
Now, should our people move to Canada?
I wouldn't suggest. I'd say move to
I wouldn't
Africa.
suggest
Yeah,
it either.
I say get here to Africa because
Yeah,
this is where all the resources are.
yeah.
Like really.
And if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, how do I do it? You are well and capable. One, we always suggest people have a business. We always suggest being self-reliant, saving your resources by any means. I don't want to hear victimhood. I don't want to hear everybody talk about how they can't do it. Yes, you can. You can do it. We did it. You can do it. We did it with young children. Now we have 5 children. You can do it. You can do it 100%.
You just
Okay.
gotta believe
But
it.
you just need to take action with your faith. Don't say you have the faith and say you hope, you hope, you hope, and then you take no action. Here's the actions that we took in 2019, 2020 when we saw that we were like, oh, this is ghetto. America's beyond, and we can see the trajectory of it. That's the blessing. The ability to have the wisdom to discern what's going to come, the insight to understand, oh, the next 10, 20 years in this country ain't going to be it. Not going to be it. So we were like, okay, so what do? We start looking up Ghana, start looking up Tanzania, Gambia, South Africa, Ethiopia. We start looking up all these countries and we're like, okay, let's choose our best picks, which ones we think will work best for us. Right? So we stayed in Tanzania for 4 years. Then we realized, oh, wow, there's even more leverage and favor in some of these other South African countries, Southern African countries. So we're like, okay, great. Let's go on ahead. Let's diversify. And it is panning out incredibly. And I think now is more dire than even 2020 during the pandemic. Because what people don't understand with this person being in office is the message that it sends to white supremacists in Kentucky, Ohio, Tennessee, Indiana, Florida, all these sheriff's offices. Because if y'all didn't know, the Introvert Rockstar YouTube channel, shout out to that brother's channel, it's heavy looking at it. But there is a steep increase in lynchings and killings of our people, mostly brothers, some sisters, but by far brothers in America. And so, if for 1 second you think that this isn't life or death, then you're fooling yourself and you're fooling your family and you're just on a road to destruction. Because at this rate, it's life or death. When you're going to have these sheriffs in these different institutions, they're going to be very white supremacist prideful, and they're going to be resorting to the things that they used to resort to that we should all know about. And if we don't know about the prior lynchings and the present day lynchings, we may want to be educated. And you may say, well, I don't want to look at negative stuff. That's reality. People are losing their lives. You don't see that. Like, I don't walk down the street and I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody's going to lynch my son. That's not even something that would even remotely happen in Africa. Not even remotely. It just wouldn't. And so for Black America, this is huge. This is very big. This is way worse than what you can imagine. And it's literally a life or death scenario. It literally is. On top of that, when you look at Black America, the people over there are not unified. The destruction is upon Black America. Judgment. And you can see it if you say, well, how do you know? Look at the fruits. Look at the neighborhoods. Look at the way people are acting. When you come out and you see, oh, Black people all around the world don't act like this.
Yeah, and it's really the environment. I know we say it time after time, just from our taxi driver going to another African country, and he he was saying like, man, that country, that's bad, and really, or going to Tanzania, I should say. You guys know he was in Tanzania for 3.5 years, and he actually went to Tanzania to handle some business for his child, and his response to going to Tanzania, it was like, wow, like Tanzania really had that poverty mindset. Like just the whole country in itself, like the corruption, it falls all the way down to the local person. And it's like, wow, being here in this new country is totally opposite. It's totally opposite. So it's like, wow, it's really about the environment that you want to be in. And that's why we say come to Africa. Like really.
Yeah, it is about the environment because,
And
and
choose the right country.
right, and you have to be willing to see favor in other areas. Like, we never suggest, and even Africans, when we were still in the States, would tell us this. They were like, when you go to Africa, visit different countries, visit different, see what you like. See, because every single country is different.
Hmm.
But literally in Africa, at least you don't have to worry about getting lynched. These are real
Yeah.
things. And if y'all just watching YouTube and y'all not paying attention to channels like the Introvert Rockstar, where he's showing our brothers and sisters being lynched over and over and over and over, it's not propaganda. This is reality. You should care enough about your cousins in the other state to see, oh, what's going on? Why do you not empathize with people that are your cousins that are being killed? Isn't that weird? But this is the backwards mindset of America. It makes you just so far away in your mindset that you don't even care about your neighbor, your cousin. Because if it's not the lynchings, it's the Black community itself that will tear itself from the inside out with the Black on Black crime. And so this was the mindset that we knew back in 2019, 2020, the mindset that was like, okay, there ain't no way to make it here. There's literally no way. There is no way to make it in America. Spiritually, it's a destitute place that is destined for judgment and destruction. It's destitute.
And if you are a believer, you know that. Like it shouldn't be a surprise, especially if you read your word and understand prophecy. It's unfolding right in front of us. It really is. So like you gotta think about like, man, it's gonna be chaos. It's gonna be chaos. Even more than now.
More tension.
More tension. It has to. It really has to.
They can
And
already
what
feel
just
it. If I can
yeah,
feel it through the screen, I know they can feel it.
and what just happened is gonna something big about to happen. Like me watching that yesterday and stuff. Or was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Um it just seemed like written. It just seemed written. A lot of stuff just seemed written now. And I hope you guys can understand what I'm saying. Like for me, it just everything. Oh, like I in a way I knew that was gonna happen. So it just seemed fake and written. Like you already know what's about to happen. Yeah, that's my standpoint on it. Like it seemed written.
I'm just like, this is so bad. Like, I'm just really speechless because it's bad on so many levels. If you're new here and you didn't know, a few lives ago we did, actually it may have been a few months, I read the PDF for the project 2025, which Trump is backing, although he says he's not backing it. But I read that, and at first, the first half, you're like, okay, these biblical values, that's great. And then obviously they wait till the second half to get into all of the laws that are going to affect the Black community. Okay. So at first they start, okay, we're going to ban LGBT. That's great. They're going to say they're going to scrutinize immigration policies. I guess fantastic, whatever. But then it gets into how people who would have been prosecuted for lynchings and for killing some of these police officers, they're going to have immunity. Now, what psychologically do you think that does in some of these sheriffs that already love lynching folks? That tells them, oh, gung ho, ready to go. Great. Trump's in office. I'm going to be great. I'm going to be good. No repercussions for me. Let's go all the way out on this violence. Let's take it to the full extent when you have that type of person in power. And then we have some issues with the education system that are going to be coming. He's going to wipe out some of the charter school funding. He's going to stop some of the federal funding for public schools as well. It will revise the curriculum guidelines, as in African American history will be no more, because they say, oh, we're just all Americans. So you don't get to learn about your African American history. Not that you even learned that much of it anyway. I didn't learn African American history till I turned 1920, to be honest. But that little bit that you learned, you're not going to learn that either. Okay. And so the student loan rates, they're going to be jacked up. They're already jacked up with horrible policies and a lack of funding. And so it's really the dream of people like Elon Musk. That's why he was like shouting like, woohoo, white supremacy, woo. That's the time that so the country has literally taken a backslide back to the 1950s. You might as well just say, you went from 2025 to 1955. You just backslid 50 years. You did. That's the reality of it. He's saying, he's going to restructure if it's any healthcare, anybody on disability, restructure and all that. So it would be wise, since you have a little time before he gets inaugurated. If I were you, and we say this every video, if I were you, I would leave. But no, seriously, like if I was in America right now and I was in your position, and I would just literally leave in the next 12 weeks. I really would. I would. I would get serious and start my business. I would make sure I monetize my company online. I would make sure I have the structure, the LLC, that I'm doing my sales, that I'm getting everything situated, and then I would just leave. I would. I really would, you know. And that's what we did in 2020. We started our business, invested in coaching, biggest investment we had did to that date. And then right after that, the business was off because investing in coaching and people who know more than you gets you to the finish line quicker instead of just being at the hamster wheel going over the same problem. Somebody that knows more than you can see it from that perspective and blast you off and catapult you into the future. That's what happened to us. And so you should do the same thing because, and guys, if you have not read Project 2025, I don't know what people are doing on the internet these days. I really don't. Because it's right there in your face. You're in agreement with it when you just stay there and you're like, all right.
You gotta think people not researchers, people not willing to do that,
They better become that.
especially in day to day life. Is because everything that's happening, you still gotta survive. So you gotta go even harder to um, thrive and get out of there
Wow.
because you still got to eat, you still got to pay bills, you still got to pay rent and stuff like that, mortgage, whatever. So you just got to figure it out. You got to really ask the Most High, seek the Most High, fast, pray, and really understand what's next because it's gonna get bad. Like we keep saying it, it's gonna get bad.
You can feel it,
It's
man.
gonna
You
get
can
real
feel
bad.
it.
So you really got to try to be in the future, like spiritually for sure, and your physical will follow. And Africa is the future, really. Like literally, we are in the future. It's nighttime here. It's about to be 8 o'clock p.m.
Mm-hmm.
It's the future.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I mean, even people across the world are like, wow. Because you got to think from the perspective of people that are a part of BRICS, Brazil, India, China, South Africa. Is that all of them? Brazil, India, China, South Africa? No, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South. Okay. So from the perspective of BRICS and these people, these Palestinians, these Arab nations, all of these different people across the world, their perspective is, oh, this represents the furthering of great British Germanic power that has oppressed the entire world. So when you understand the dynamics of people across the globe, when you meet these different people, they're like, we don't really want that either. That represents more oppression for us. When it's the same because this man's lineage goes back to Germany and Great Britain. We are talking about on the last live. It's the UN, the United Nations versus BRICS. It's the old colonial white powers versus people that are not white, that are trying to get a stronghold because, and guess what, today, obviously the dollar is at its highest rate it's ever been. For us, that's good. For those in America, that just means, the prices on everything increases.
Yeah.
And so people see that, these BRICS people, they're seeing that and they're like, man, we got to do something to retain our gold, to still try and get under this hand that is the colonial power, because it's like it just keeps furthering, it keeps going further and further and further. So that's the mindset of people across the world, whether they're in Russia, India, China, South Africa. This is the mindset of people that are like, okay, what does this mean? This means any diplomatic ties that were just barely had with Africa, those won't be a thing, because that man, he calls African countries as whole countries. See, with him, at least you're not confused. He's just a flat out racist. At least and you can see it for a fact, and you can make your decisions from there to say, okay, with this information, what do I want to do? What do I want to do to diversify? So what do you want to do? It's up to you to make that decision and to make that choice, because there is freedom and there is blessings and there is favor outside of America, immense favor, more favor with your blue passport being outside of America than you have inside. 100% now. It was that way in 2020, but 50% more so now, just because the cost of living and the tensions. So it's like, let's say you choose this next 12 weeks. We're at November 7th. Let's say by January 7th, you're hatching out a plan to leave by February, March. So the steps that you should take, one, you need to look at these two important lists. You need to look at the countries in Africa that are on the least corrupt list and the most peaceful list. You're going to take 3 countries from both of these lists. You're going to narrow them down. You're going to look at the cost of living. You're going to look at if they're visa free for Americans. You're going to look at if they have digital nomad visas. Once you find those countries, and self-employed visas, entrepreneur visas, low startup visas. Once you do that, after you have your country, you're going to say, okay, now let me look at my expertise. What do I have 5 to 10 years of experience in? Be it healthcare, customer service, finance, real estate, marketing, moving, whatever your expertise is in, because everybody in America is an expert, let's be honest. Every single person in America is an expert because everybody has worked for some type of entity, which means you have expertise. So you're going to write that expertise down, even if you're a videographer, even if you're into animations, you're going to write that expertise down. And then you are going to start your consulting business, and you are actually going to go through and establish your firm while you're in America, sign clients, merge that business to an African country. And that's what you're going to do. And then you know what you're going to do? You're going to be living your best life. You're going to send us some comments. You're going to be in the live chats a few months down the line. You're going to be like, well, I'm so glad I did that. And we're going to be like, you should be. You should be glad. And you're going to thank yourself for even taking a chance. And I know it may seem scary at first because a lot of us are new entrepreneurs in our family. We've never done stuff like this. But it just works because you can't depend on a job, and you daggone sure can't depend on America. That's for daggone sure. You ain't never been able to depend on America.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Are you gonna work for yourself, or are you gonna work for a job in America? Because that's what it comes down to. Like really, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, it does. And you gotta make a decision. You gotta take action. So it's like, which hard do you want? Are you gonna say, oh man, it's hard to work and start a business? Man, it's just hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. Or are you gonna be on the side of it's hard, but you still in America with high inflation, high cost of living, the food's fake, your stress levels are through the roof, the high blood pressure, your spirituality is out of whack because you can't even get a chance to breathe. And then every other week, brothers are being lynched. So which hard do you take? Everything's hard. Which hard is it going to be? Is it going to be a hard that brings forth a reward for your trajectory and freedom and flexibility and ownership of your time and your business? Or is it going to be literal a path that's going to lead to destruction? And we've seen time and time again, literally, when brothers are being lynched, sisters are being killed by these sheriffs and these crazy people. It's like, which hard do you choose? Because it is life or death. It just is.
This I got a scenario. Just say black people do come together and they start their businesses in towns and banks and grocery stores and stuff. Everything's in the community. It's still not gonna work because the track record, they blow it up, they destroy it, they catch fire to it. So like really, like even if you're that type of person, like man, I got a community of people, of our people, believers and stuff, that we got land and stuff. That is a good thing, but at the same time, if it get too big, they will come and burn it down.
Oh, you already know.
So the best thing to do is just get out. Like really, it's trust in the Most High to lead you and get you to that next level of that next faith level, that He can just really lead you and guide you and take care of you through your talents and skills and your expertise, because that's just what it is. Like really, that's just what it is for our people. That's the best way, because our people is not going to be able to come together until the Most High bring us together physically.
Right. So you might as well just take care of your household and keep it moving. And network with people who are on the same code as you. That may be 1 or 2 other people that you have networks and investments with, and that's it. That's how we do it. with, whether they're Ghanaian, Zimbabwean, Kenyan, Nigerian. Look, whoever is on the same mental code, we can be around those people. But if you're not on the same mental code, if it's one of those situations, let's take it back to a story of like slavery times, like Harriet Tubman freeing the slaves. Like if you're not on that code and you just get left behind, she said, I could have freed more people if they knew they were slaves. But do you think she was gonna let them, Uncle Tom, stop her from getting to what was the promised land for her at that time, to go north and be in freedom? Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely 100% not. Not at all. Not one bit. So you have to be full steam ahead. You have to be courageous. You have to stand up and say, you know what? Yeah, this is horrible, whatever. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go. I'm going to go ahead and do what's best. I'm going to go ahead and get what the Most High has for my legacy and my trajectory. I'm not going to be a victim. Because that's another thing I see all over Instagram that's a little irritating. A lot of people are taking this time to be like, oh, I'm a victim. What are we going to do? We got to stick it out for some more years, and then hopefully the next 4 years. That's very, very much victimhood mentality. Is very, 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 very much victimhood mentality. And you can't do anything if you believe you're a victim. You will accomplish nothing. What has victimhood gotten you all this time? The only way to accomplish anything in life is to decide, okay, I'm not victim, I'm victorious. Doesn't matter what was done to me, doesn't matter who did it, doesn't matter what my ancestors, none of that matters. I don't care about none of that. I am victorious. When you have that mindset, then you don't have any barriers. Then you don't mind. Then it doesn't matter what's happening to other people because it's not your portion.
Yeah, you gotta start somewhere. The choice is yours. You do have a choice. Like really, the choice is yours. You gotta start somewhere. Might as well start now, especially now.
Yeah.
If you haven't yet.
Yeah, start now and enjoy the journey. Like, it is so beautiful to live outside of America. Y'all know y'all can just binge watch all of our videos since 2020 and you'll see how beautiful life is and has been. Thanks to the grace of the Most High, where you literally don't have to just depend on America for everything. You just don't. So you need to renew your mind and think differently about yourself. Think differently about Africa. Think differently, literally, about everything. Think differently about America. Like, really, like, take the blindfolds off and say, okay, what's really going on here? And then you'll see crystal clear and be like, oh, it's time for me to go. And it is in your full power to be able to go. It's in your full power. Y'all got it better than a lot of people who left in 2019, 2020. Why? Because now you got digital nomad visas that are out. Now you got self-employed visas that are out. Now you got countries like Ghana, Sierra Leone, Gabon, they give citizenship. Benin, they literally give citizenship. Kenya announced their digital nomad visa. So there's no reason not to. Or let's say worst case scenario, you're like, man, it's just not working. Do you know Spain has a 3-year digital nomad visa? These are things that people need to think about. Like, you have choices. You're able to diversify if you first get over the mental hurdles. There are abundant choices out there. There's so much opportunity. There are safe spaces that are 60% lower than the cost of living in America. They're beautiful places, wonderful, fresh food, local people, sunshine, fruits everywhere. We were just driving today, seeing different investment properties, and saw that there was this tree. You thought it was a mango. I don't know what the driver said it was. He said it was a different, I don't know what it is, but he said it's used for like curry and cake. There's so much fruit everywhere. In Africa, you literally come outside and there's just food everywhere. We come outside in our backyard, there's just tomatoes growing. We're like, these tomatoes weren't even here when we moved in. How did these tomatoes sprout up out of a crack in concrete? That's how fruitful Africa is. That type of abundance. So when you're in an area that is filled with that type of abundance, you have no choice but to be abundant. You have no choice but to bear fruit. The only choice is to bear fruit because there's fruit everywhere. Like, there's so many options. And the best part, you don't even have to choose one option. You don't even have to say, I'm going to just stay in this one country. No, travel. Experience. It is more affordable to travel than to live in America. 100,000,000%. It is more affordable to travel than to live in America full time. That's just reality. So let me know what y'all think. What do y'all think of this? Like, are y'all like, yes, that makes sense? I know a lot of people. Shalom from the Gambia. Shalom to everybody in the chat that's already in Africa. Those of you in America, what are your thoughts with this election? Are you like, yeah, this is the perfect time for me to leave? I think it's interesting how they were like, oh, I'm going to move to Canada
Yeah,
if he becomes
like
president.
I guess the smart people leaving. Yeah, I want to sound, but that's the truth. Like the truth shall set you free. You gotta be wise. You gotta be smart and realize what's about to happen in the next 2 years. Really, in the next year, because I feel like something about to happen next couple weeks, and it's gonna it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
But you have a choice, if you receive the insight and the understanding, you can then say, okay, am I just going to stay around for this insanity? Or is this a good time to exit stage left? Because we already talked about how this is going to change racial profiling, law enforcement practices. It's going to change education. Some of the things that were available won't be available anymore. Those things aren't going to be available. It's going to impact social systems. So some of these systems that historically helped our community, it's literally you're going back 50 years. Just walk through the door and understand that you're probably walking into the 1950s. Just know that and understand that, and do some research on what that time was like for our community. But on the flip side, I think with that pressure, the community, the African Americans and Africans that stay in America during that time, I think they will come together more so, because there's something about that tension and pressure that makes people come together, because you have no choice, because it's literally a life or death situation. Facts. One nation under black. Y'all, the 47th president should make people really start thinking about living abroad. Why not? Yeah, you got nothing to lose. You have everything to gain. Claudia Love, it's time to go. It's been time. Facts. Jay Blue, what are your recommendations regarding big families being able to leave? How do we start? You start like us. We are a big family. We're currently a family of 7, but before we left, we were a family of 3 young children. Our At that time, our oldest son was 8, our daughter was 6, and our youngest son was 2. And so, he was breastfeeding. They hopped on the plane. They had a good time. But understand, we hyped our children up for it. So our children, years before the plan, we already told them, hey, we're going to be leaving to Africa, because remember that encounter you had, my son, when he was 5? Remember that encounter you had in that white neighborhood when you said that you were wishing that you looked like white people because you thought they were Superman, and I told you, no, you can't think like that. That was the first time I knew, oh, I can't continue on this trajectory. I can't raise a black son that thinks like that. I can't do it. Other people can do it. I personally cannot, because I'm accountable to the children that we raise. And so we told them from the get go, we were like, no, you're going to live in Ghana. You're going to live in Nigeria, Gambia. You're going to live somewhere on the continent. You're going to live in South Africa. We're going to travel. You're going to see people that look like you. You are going to have a phenomenal time. We gave our children that understanding years before we left. They already knew that. So that's number one. Spiritually talking to them, spiritually preparing them. And so they were already excited. So when it's time to get on the plane, they're like, yeah, let's go. They're all the way ready to go. So that's number one. Number two, from a logistical finances standpoint, we knew before 2020, again, before 2019, we will not leave America without having a thriving business, because we have children. We know that we would not leave America. We would not leave the land that we were in for all those years with nothing in just savings. So we strategically opened a company and ran it from our home, funded it through my husband's job, got it off the ground, invested in mentorship, invested in our professional and personal development, started serving clients, built a website fully functional, built a social media presence, built a brand presence, made strategic connections on the continent and in America. That's step 2. Step 3, as far as finances go, we scoped out the best airplane tickets we could find. We still do this to this day. We tell people in our best-selling e-course, Dream Life Africa, buy tickets on Sundays and Tuesdays. Look at tickets and their prices at 12 a.m., 3 a.m., 6 a.m., 9 a.m. Check different hours of the day. There's strategy behind this. You have to use strategy. That's step 3. Choose your ticket. Step 4, get your visas, get everything you need. Hopefully, with the information you have now, you would use a country that's visa free for Americans, because when we left, Tanzania was the only country open. That's why we were in Tanzania, because we were ready to go. We were going to head to Ghana. Ghana wasn't open. So we had the choice. We could wait until August or we could fly out in July and not wait. We chose to not wait. We chose to not procrastinate. We were like, nope, we're going to go. Our businesses are flourishing. We've had our best month in business. It's doing so well. It's time to go. That means it's time to go. If the blessing is upon you, it's time to go. It ain't time to stay and chill out and procrastinate. So that's steps 3 and 4.
And it's crazy how like you're talking about that now, and it's making me think like, man, the Most High is amazing because He literally knew what we needed before we did. Because we started this 4 years before we even left, so He put that on our heart 4 years before we literally left Babylon.
Yeah.
And it was just right in line. It was His plan for a reason. So with you saying that, it's like, dang, like you really, if the Most High spoke to you like that, or even if He didn't, we are trying to tell you guys the steps to take to really stay out of the country. If you want to really move, these are the things that you have to do, because the Most High set us up when we didn't even know.
Right. Yeah.
We probably thinking, okay, business, we gonna do this business. You got your business. I'm gonna do my landscaping, and we gonna try to go buy a house in New Albany.
New Albany, Ohio. Anybody know New Albany, Ohio? Leave a comment in the chat if you
We
know
was
New
ready to
Albany,
grind.
Ohio.
We was ready.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, nope. Look,
Mm-hmm.
this stuff happening right now, where you gotta your business going well. Now you gotta leave the whole country.
Yep.
So, man, it's just a blessing to look back and see how the Most High really worked for His people. And at the moment, you really don't know what's going on.
Gigi.
But now that we look back, it's like, wow, everything that happens, it happens for a reason.
Yep.
The Most High does things for a reason. Even the position that we're in now, the things that we're doing on a daily, just how He's looking at investment properties. It's like, okay, we might not have the all of the resources, but we still gonna step out and go look at it, because in the next couple of years, just how I was just talking about how He helped us start that business 4 years before. We
Right.
are in this now 8 years, going
Right.
on 9 years. We sitting right here.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
like you really got to step out on faith. Like if He put something on your heart, just step out on it. It don't matter. Just say if we didn't have the full money to ride around in a taxi, the Most High will make a way. He'll probably talk to that taxi's heart and be like, just give them a little time. They're good. That they're going to pay you and stuff. So that's the type of faith you gotta really have. Like if you don't have the resources right then, the Most High is gonna make a way, like always.
Yeah, because in 2019 we were like, man, we don't have anything.
Yeah, you know me. I was like, man, I'm trying to stack up like 50,000 before we go at least.
I forgot you said that. That's
I'm
funny.
trying to really stack up 50,000.
Yeah, just to hold. Yeah, 2019, we were like, man, what should we do?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we didn't
six
have no
months
money.
later, maybe 4 months later, the business starts exploding.
We did not have
Like
no money.
stuff can change dramatically in just a few months if you're in alignment. That's the caveat. You have to be in alignment. You have to take action. Because it's like if you're like, man, there's no way, and then you take action that confirms that you believe there's no way, then there's gonna be no way. But if you're like, man, there's no way, then you're like, wait, I see what I'm starting to see some testimonies. I'm starting to see what's possible. Let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and just do this. Let me go ahead and invest in myself. Okay, this is different. I never invested in myself on this level before. I only went in student loan debt before, but you know what? Let me just do it because I see that it's working. Let me just try it. That's what we did. And we were like, now we don't stop investing in ourselves. Every year we put down hundreds, thousands into professional development
Yeah.
because we know it pays off because we trust ourselves.
And then you know what
No, baby, you want me to
what
take the iPad?
what you doing, G, um what you really doing is in alignment when, just for example, story for y'all. I want to say a week and a half before we was leaving, we had our plane tickets and everything. Um, my my uncle hit me up and he was like, "Hey, I know you cut grass and stuff. You know the person that you helped me clean their house, helped me clean the buildings, with and everything. The two buildings that you was cleaning, it's this millionaire family that had businesses and stuff, Main Street, um, and he's like, hey, you know they have some apartments. They have big whole apartments.
A new contract for you.
Yeah. They want to give you the contract to cut. It's three different apartments, and I'm pretty sure you would get, um, a lot of money, probably like 50,000 or something like that. He was talking about, and that's the same number I was saying. Like, I'm trying to get 50,000 before we
Dang, I
leave.
forgot that happened right before we left.
So
I forgot that.
those decisions right there, we could have stayed and did that. Like, look, no, it's the most.
You gotta have this.
You gotta
People don't
have
have
discernment.
discernment. That's
And
it.
understand the Most High making the way.
Wow.
Just keep going that way. At the last minute, this
Yeah.
contract come up with the things that I was talking about. It wasn't like I had all the equipment that I needed, so of course I needed to probably like rent equipment and do stuff to get the contract solid.
But that was your entry into big contracts.
Yeah,
If you would have stayed,
if we
it's
would have
like the
stayed,
temptation.
it definitely would have been a year at least staying,
Ooh, if
trying to
not more.
get things in order to leave and trying to,
Ooh,
yeah.
wow.
So that's how, for me, I knew, like, dang, just then, right there,
And you walked away from it.
a week and a half before, I was like,
Wow.
nah, look, I'm moving to Africa. Come on, what, D? What? You got? Come on, I thought this is what you wanted. I thought this was what you wanted. I'm putting my neck on the line, telling them that, and I'm like, no, I'm moving to
Wow.
Africa. I'm moving. I'm not coming back. I'm moving.
You told him, you said that to him. I'm
Yeah,
not coming back.
yeah. So it was that, like, that
Oh gosh.
fire inside me where it's like,
Yeah.
no, nope,
Yeah.
no, I'm
Yeah.
not. Look, I already told you. Why you trying to tell me
Why
that?
you trying to tempt me?
Yeah, that's how
Why
it
you trying to
was.
tempt me and go back on my word? Wow.
So you
No, that's
really,
how it is
yeah,
though.
that's really how it is.
That's how it is. Yeah, you got to have the discernment because it's not just about finances. We were talking about this earlier. We know people that are developers in America have thriving businesses, but when it comes, because the real wealth is your ability to understand and discern the things of the Most High. That's your number one wealth. This is why you'll see people come to Africa that have their savings, their business in America in order, but can't seem to make it work because the discernment and understanding that you need to maneuver is only given on high. It's not given based on finances. Now, does that mean you don't do business? No, you still do business. You do your business, you run it, but you run your business from the principles of the Most High. And if it doesn't line up, it don't go. You run your life through the principles of the Most High. If it doesn't line up, it doesn't go. Like, this is literally how we live our life. If it doesn't line up, it doesn't go. If somebody come in our life and they ain't lining up, if it don't line up, it don't go.
Yeah.
If you come in our life for 2 years, then year 3, you ain't lining up to the word, you don't go. That's it. You just don't have time for that type of procrastination
Because you
in
can't.
this time.
Exactly. You can't lose if you follow the Most High's law and His statutes and commandments and the way that you should be living. Like that's the foundation. So even recently, we was talking about the investments that we was talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and you came to me like, look, it don't line up with this, and it's like, okay, I gotta calm down. I gotta calm down a little. I'm thinking, look, let me just stop talking.
You're
But I'm
funny.
getting excited, about this and this. Oh, maybe we can do this, all this and this, not and this and that. And it's good to have. I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you, men out there, it's good to have a wife because
Amen.
it's that wisdom where it's going to slow you down and make you think.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, okay, now I can understand what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me pause real quick. Let me rethink because it's really that time where it's like if it's not lining up with biblical law, biblical principles and stuff,
Mm.
it's it's not gonna work. But it is if you line it up, you're not gonna lose.
Yeah.
You're not gonna lose.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you really got to believe that.
Even 2023, 2024 was a testimony of that. You always have to be willing to sacrifice and shed old things for the newness the Most High is bringing you to, because the word says we go from faith to faith and glory to glory. I mean, like in the business, shedding old contracts, old clients to go into newness. We shedded a contract that was a certain rate and got a contract that was 7 times more. 7 times more just in the last year. Completely shifted the way that we even run our company. Completely shifted the way we even think about investing, real estate,
and
taxes, finance.
And guess what situation that we had to endure?
Right.
It was a tough situation.
It came with endurance.
It was like still hallelujah. She about to end the line. Y'all talking too much. What y'all talking down there? Here, no. Huh? But
he's like X marks the spot.
But yeah, it comes with endurance because the situation that we was in, it was like, it was crazy. But every situation, we still endure to the end.
Oh, it was such a beautiful testimony.
Yeah, it's just prophecy. It's just practice in a way. You have to endure to the end. Even what's going on right now in the world.
Yeah.
With elections and stuff, because it's going to be elections in some African countries too. So
yeah, during this time,
it's just this time. You got to know what's really going on. You really got to understand and feel it, because something about happened. But you got to endure to the end, and no matter what the situation is, no matter how far or how knowing you are in spiritual understanding and stuff, you still in any situation, any tough situation, you still got to endure to the end.
Right.
Like really.
And then you receive the reward, but only through endurance and not complaining and not sinning. You can't sin through the trials, because then you get the reward of transgression. Mm-hmm. And we know what that is. The wages of sin is death. Not death to just the physical body, but it could be death to your finances, death to your mental health, death to, because there can be death in multiple things. And so this year has truly been a testament of, trust me, pivot where I say pivot, and I'm going to bless you on your way. Yeah. 7 times. I'm telling you, y'all, literally 7 times. 2023 to 2024. We're looking at our business insights like, wow. We're like, Father, my gosh, what?
Right. And it's just the path that he got us on. Man, because we look at, if we would have did this when we first moved to Africa.
We didn't know what we know now. That's why we come and tell y'all, like, if people are wise, they would really listen, because if we would have known what we know now, my gosh.
Yeah.
But still blessed to be in this land for such a time as this.
Yeah. and it really is about the environment too. Oh, yeah,
Yeah, it
that
is.
was G, but
It's
yeah, it's
all
really
about
about
the
the
environment.
environment.
You got to choose the right country.
Yeah,
If you don't choose the right country, you're cursing yourself for no reason. And you may be like it's a blessing. All along you getting played. You like, oh, I thought it was a blessing.
yeah, it still is. You just gotta. It just comes with a higher understanding. It's always levels. It's always levels. It really is to every
To
single
everything.
thing,
Yeah.
everything,
That's true. Literally everything.
literally
Levels.
everything levels.
But you know what it is? You have to be willing to humble yourself before Yah, not before institutions, not before man, not before your friend over there on the other side of the field. You have to be willing to humble yourself before the Most High and just think to ask Him, is this what's right for this time? Because seasons, as it says in the book of Ecclesiastes, there's a time for everything under the sun. There are seasons to everything. You got to know the season.
Ooh, we got no season.
You have to, that's why you have to be so in tune. That's why we say the wealth, number one, starts with understanding and discernment. All you're getting, get understanding and get discernment. Then you would move and have your being and know how to maneuver. Then you would move and have your being and know how to start a business. Then you would move and have your being and know how to diversify that business. Then you would move and have your being and be fruitful in the womb. Then you would move and have your being and do all of these things that are written in Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14. Then he can bless your storehouse and set the command. Because once Yah decrees that your storehouse is going to be blessed, there's nothing on earth that could stop it. Nothing under earth that could stop it. Nothing above earth. Not one principality. Because if y'all only knew the principalities that have tried to come against this household, good deliverance. You might not have you would probably just pass out listening to it. You just really would. Even entering, even leaving the oh my gosh, the principal. We gotta go members only for that. I'm not gonna get on into this video. You're gonna have to go members only if you want those extreme details. Those extreme. I just look back like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Father Yah. My gosh.
Yeah.
My goodness.
And it's really belief. You gotta really believe, have that faith, and endure and be obedient, and just grow spiritually. Like really, nobody's perfect, but if you strive for perfection, you just get better every day,
Yep.
every minute of the day, every second of the day. Renew your mind every day. Just try to grow every day.
You know, there's this verse in Psalms 119, and I used to read it back when I was first learning the Bible, 2018, and I would read it and I'd be like, why did King David say that he's wiser than his teachers? He says, through your laws, through studying your commands, become wiser than the elders. I've become wiser than my teachers. I've become wiser than those that came before me. But I read that now with understanding, and in my little 28 years of living, my real humble 28 years, and I'm like, wow, this is how I've been able to surpass, because I've literally kept these principles in business and he's just increased it, increased it, increased it, increased it. If only y'all understood the caliber. When you work with 221 different companies in finance, real estate, e-commerce, do you know how much wisdom you get across various industries that you can now apply and say, oh, wow, let's maneuver like this. Let's move like this. All because of following biblical principles to establish our business and our companies. I'm like, oh, this is how you become wiser than all your teachers and all your elders. Oh,
And
this is how it happens.
and you got to be meek when you become wise. You can't be like, I'm wiser than you.
Yeah.
I'm wiser than you.
Yeah. And you know what the antidote is for that? It's servant leadership. That's literally when Yahusha himself says, I did not come to be served, but to serve.
Yeah.
The antidote and medicine for pride is to go serve somebody. I even tell entrepreneurs this in business. Like, even from a business standpoint, you should not go into your business meetings, your business relationships, the content you're creating for social media on your website. You should not go into it with the mindset of how can somebody serve me and how can I get stuff out of people. You should go with it into the mindset, how can I serve somebody today? Then the rest will take care of itself. If your first mindset is let me go serve somebody and help somebody today, then you're never going to need or lack any good thing. If that is the mindset that you come with in everything that you do, you're never going to lack any good thing. The Most High, he says the righteous, he says, King David said, I've seen plenty of people begging for bread, but the righteous ain't never begged for nothing. I've seen plenty people beg. You see people out in the streets, even in this country, some white folks out in the streets, homeless, begging for bread. You see all different types of people. But King David says, I've never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging bread. Not only not seen the righteous forsaken, but he's saying even his children, I did not see begging for bread.
Mm.
So when you understand biblical principles like that on that level, my goodness.
Yeah.
You better
I'm
get
telling you,
tapped into the
just
word on
walk.
a new level.
Yeah.
You get tapped
You
in.
can't be of this world. I know somebody's like, personally, the world is, we are living in built around ego,
Yeah,
and just how he's speaking,
it
it's
is.
like, if you know that you can't be like that. You just got to walk how the Most High showed you how to walk, and the right people will understand. Because we come around, if it's me and you, if it's me and my wife here, going around people, they gonna look at us like, you guys are different. Like, I don't know what it is, but you guys are different, and that's what we get all the time. And we know what they talking about is, but we're not gonna say it like, oh, what are you talking about? It's like, this is just how we are. We just have that meekness and that humbleness and that wisdom covering us. That spirit covering his spirit covering us, saying, hey, you can't mess with these people. You can't mess with this couple, because the Most High's hand is right over us. We are literally walking and being obedient to His word, and people really see that. Other nations see it. Like the people that I talk to, they can understand. Just say Rashid with our taxi driver. First time we met, he told me like something's different. Even our neighbor here, he say usually I don't talk to people this long. Me and him just hit it off, because he was what, he's 54 and I just turned 30.
Yeah,
So he's like, man, 30-year-olds, I don't, like, you're different.
yeah,
So, and that's just really believing in the Most High's word,
yeah.
like really just walking in His will, because
You
his
gotta
his
redeem
will
the
is gonna be
time.
done.
You gotta redeem, right? His will be done. You gotta
Hmm.
redeem the time. Yeah, because it's all everything spiritual, everything, even with the title, what next, the election, it's gonna get worse. Everything spiritual. You gotta understand. I actually wrote some notes down. This happened, I'm a writer. If anybody's a writer, you can understand this. You'll get some insight on high. This is the way the Most High speaks to me, y'all. Okay.
Yeah,
I
like
will
she
just
literally,
literally be in
well,
the
she just spoke.
store
I be
and the
like, why
spirit of
you be
wisdom
on
will
your
download
phone?
something. I have to write it right then. If I don't write it, I'll forget it. And I'll
Ah.
know this is spirit because I'm just walking through a store. I'm focused on something else. And then it's like, he'll give me something. But let me go to, oh, is it only on my phone? Oh, here it is. Literally, all right, y'all. I wrote this down in the grocery store. It's like, we are the fulfillment of Abraham's promise, his covenant. He looked out knowing some of his descendants would turn away. Knowing, right? What was the covenant that the Most High made with Abraham? It wasn't that you're going to be the richest man on earth. His covenant was that I'm going to increase your seed so much that it's going to be as the sands of the sea. If you can count the stars that are in the sky, that's the extent to how much I'm going to increase you. And he was like, okay, great. He said, I believe it. I receive it. And
Mhm.
so he looked out. Abraham, again, he's a friend of the Most High, so he knows the end from the beginning as well. Like his fathers, as in his grandfathers, Enoch, Noah, Methuselah, all these ones who came before him. And so he looks out knowing that some of his descendants are going to turn away, knowing that only a remnant is going to be saved. But he goes out and still believes and still goes forth into the promised land and still goes forth into everything that he was called to receive. Because really, the covenant with Abraham is just Yah speaking to a human and saying, hey, I want to bless somebody on this earth so that they can get the promise. out to the rest of the nations. And Abraham's like, I'm here. He's like, yeah, you can use me. I believe you. I believe your report. Right. And so it's reserved for those that have been given the ability to guard the sacred command and have been given a portion with the great. It's a fulfillment of the promise. We understand that this is the trajectory and legacy that the Most High has set us on from the foundations of the earth. So I just had to share that with you. I wrote that in the grocery store. It had to be shared. It had to be written because it's just time for the people that are also called like this to stand up, that are a part of Abraham's lineage, stand up and come into the promise. It's time for the Josephs and Daniels to stand up. We in the last day, you ain't got time to be fearful. Mm-hmm. No cowards on the front line. You ain't got time. It's time to stand up. Imagine if Abraham would have been too afraid to inherit the promise and would have been like, oh, well, you know, my dad, Tahor, he had all those idols, but, you know, it's just, I'm afraid that maybe some of those idol worshipers, they'll just, you know, they'll want me to come back and be in Babylon. He's like, Abraham ain't never looked back, not once. Abraham was full steam ahead.
Not even when the Most High told him to sacrifice his son.
Yeah, that's a different kind of faith. Woo.
Just think about that story. That's
he's like, willing.
Like when you really think about Abraham, it's like, whoa, like
he's different.
What?
Like, Grandpa, you was different, huh?
You want me, my child here, my chosen child. I just had him.
Yeah.
I'm 90-some years old.
Yeah.
I've been waiting.
Yeah, Isaac, he was 13 at the time. But he believed the promise so much. And really, when he believed the promise, it just means he received the vision, the dream that he received. Because the Most High spoke to him in a dream. I feel like I'm preaching. He spoke to him in a dream. There are some of us that will see dreams and visions from the Most High and doubt him, and then he'll completely turn away. You better believe the Most High's visions and dreams before you believe any human. I don't care what human comes to you. I don't care if they're a pastor. I don't care if they're older than you. I don't care if they're younger than you. I don't care what's going on. If you receive visions and dreams and prophecies from the Most High, believe them 100,000,000% over anything and everybody else, especially if they come true. More so if they come true. You better believe that over everything and everybody else, because it's literally the Most High coming to commune with you the way he did with Abraham. Because the way, you may want to go read Genesis 12 again, the way that he spoke to Abraham, he didn't just like shout. He didn't just like come as an angel. Abraham took a nap, and the Most High Spirit came and gave him a dream and gave him a vision and said, I want to bless you. Abraham, being who he was, he didn't doubt it. He wasn't like, oh, am I going crazy? He was like, oh, that's, yeah, I believe him. Let me go ahead and get into the promise. Yep, I accept. This is the only attitude the Most High can bless, because anything else is a lack of faith. Anything else is a lack of faith. Yahusha, when he was on earth, book of Matthew, he said it himself. He was healing in Judah. He wanted to turn the captivity. And they're thinking, well, when are you going to make Israel a nation again? And he's like, my child, you worried about the physical. I'm trying to give you authority and power on high. And you're like, when's Israel going to be a nation? Our people, fleshly people, worry about the wrong things. They worry about the wrong. You have authority on high, but some people can't even fathom it. You have authority and the ability to see the beginning, see the end from the beginning, to receive prophecy, vision, insight, stability, power, authority, sovereignty, kingdom, government, heaven, the best government you could be a part of in the universe. But we will major in the minor and minor in the major. And so Yahushua was like, well, I got to leave Judah. I can't really go with these. I got to go up north and go deal with the other tribes. They may have been in captivity longer, but Judah, I can't perform miracles here because of the lack of faith. Can't perform miracles with these ones. I didn't write the word. That's what he said. I didn't write that. That's what Yahushua said, who some call Jesus. That's what he said when he was on earth. He was like, I gotta look. I'm gonna have to go to some other people who believe and it fit the prophecy. I believe it was in Isaiah. He says, I'm gonna be found of a people that does not even know me. I'm gonna be found amongst those who do not even keep my word. Why? Because they had the faith like Abraham. Because he could speak and they would just do.
Yeah, yep. I was just about to. Yep. You just gotta do it. You gotta be in position. And if you're not in position, you really just gotta be in position. Because if you're not in position, you're not going to hear that that knock or that voice at 12 a.m.
Ooh,
That the
wow.
oil is starting to run out. And
Mm.
if you can't keep your oil and be in that position where it's like, oh, yeah, I got my oil, and next person right here next to you got your oil, that's a good position. But if the next person right here next to you, like, you don't got your oil, what? Hold on, I can't help you. Are you gonna really be like that? I can't help you. You don't got your oil. You don't got your oil ready. I got my oil ready. Be in that position. Be ready. Because it's getting down to that time where it's like, look, the people that's gonna be prepared is gonna be
Mm.
right there, and you're gonna take that next step and be good.
Yeah, you'll be more than good. I mean, because I'm telling, if you would have told us 4 or 5 years ago that this would be our life, we would have been like, "How, sweat?"
No, I'd have been like, okay, yeah, I know, I believe it. So
I would have been so. I would have been like, "Wow, really? Like, huh?" I would be living where?
yeah,
My house would look like what?
because our mindset
My
was
business
different.
would be what?
Our,
I would have 5 children, and
our mindset was different
I
back
would be wealthy with 5 children,
then.
huh?
How?
Our mindset was so different, but it shows you how much things can shift when you go on Yah's kingdom, on his power, his timeline.
Mhm.
That's it.
Hallelujah. Yeah. So what's next? Let's ask them what's next. What do you guys see? The people that's on here, that's on this live. What do you see that's next? Gianna want to know. Say what's next. What's next? Yes. So leave a comment
What's
and let us
next,
know what's next.
family, in the live?
What's next? And thanks for everyone for the super chat. Thanks for everyone for liking the video. I like to see 57 likes and 57 people.
Yes, we're very thankful.
That's just awesome. That's wonderful. But yeah, what's next? What's next? At least one person got it. And I feel like every time I ask, nobody tells. But
Get on a plane to Africa. Shalom, baby. Asante Sana, journey with us. Excellent to hear that. Yeah, that's the right
that's
answer.
yep. That's
That's a
what's
good
next.
answer.
Gee.
Get on a plane. That's the best route. Again, you're going to live on a 60% lower cost of living as long as you live like a local and think like a local.
And that's a good leverage to have.
Ooh, that's the best leverage. The amount of peace and stability. People are like, how do you accomplish everything you accomplish? Because I don't live in America. That's seriously. It just makes life 10 times easier, 10 times more peaceful.
Gee. We can
It
share.
makes it so much
Yeah,
easier
what
when
you
you
say?
don't have that pressure, that 50,
Yes, sir.
all this debt, y'all. We were young, so we didn't have a lot of debt. So praise y'all for that. Aw. Yeah, y'all. But yeah, Africa is abundant. African culture is beautiful. It makes you think differently about children, marriage, because in America, in the West, they're like, oh, too many children isn't good. Oh my gosh, marriage. You should just get divorced and then get married 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times.
Yeah, that's
And it's like that's
that's
destruction.
that's a good answer. Then to Lisa, she said going to the local market tomorrow for veggies.
I love that.
See, that's what you think
Yes.
about when you're here in Africa. You're like, tomorrow's prep day, so you probably gotta go shopping. Today we went shopping today.
Yeah.
But yeah, go get some fresh veggies,
Yeah.
some fresh fruit.
Yeah.
That's what's next. That's what I gotta do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only care. Going to see where you're going to get your local vegetables. That's good.
Yeah.
This is why I'm asking as well. Y'all show us all what is next. May his plans be fulfilled. Yeah, 100%. If you ask, he'll show you. Knocking the door shall be opened. Surrender yourself to be available to the power of him today. By the blood of Yahusha. Seriously, you got to move in authority, power on high.
Mm-hmm.
You got to move in power on high.
What's next?
What's next for us?
I'm asking you. What's next? What do you think is next?
Well, I was gonna watch Outer. What's it called? Not.
I'm talking spiritually, man.
Oh.
Man, I'm about to go watch my show. I'm talking spiritually, silly.
Okay. I'm gonna be ranting if I talk about what's next. I'm gonna rant. Don't ask me that.
I just did.
I can't say it in a short way.
Well, you gotta say it.
My gosh. Wow. How do you sum it up? Good deliverance. Okay. What's next in short form? How do you want me to answer it? That's a loaded question.
It's not.
It is. That's so.
That's 2 words.
I'm about to write a thesis.
All 2 words. This is what I gotta deal with. when your wife's a writer and a researcher, I asked a two question word. 2-word question. I'm about to write a whole six papers on this. It's like, how? It's 2 words. How?
Oh gosh, because I have these bullet points. It's like an outline that's already written in my mind.
Okay, what's next?
Okay, well, if you want me to do the outline version, well, what's next spiritually is that there is a dichotomy that's going to happen on earth. There's a dichotomy in America between good and bad, good versus evil. And you get to choose which side you want to be on. You get to choose the Most High side, one, by following his principles. When you follow his principles, you begin to understand, oh, Western society isn't lined up with this. Okay. That means that my eyes need to face the east and go somewhere else. That's the best way I can sum it up. But I mean, check out Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 51. Check out Ezekiel 13. Make sure you hit up Isaiah 48 through 62. Make sure you hit Isaiah 8 and 9. I was just in there earlier this week. Isaiah 8 and 9.
The whole book.
Psalms 144 through 146. That's what's next. That's literally what's next. So.
Well, I'm glad you summed that up.
Yeah, I tried. I tried my best.
I got actually.
What's next?
Oh man, I'm about to write a whole thesis. I'm gonna write a whole paper.
Why you like this?
No, what I believe is next is peace is gonna get taken away. Chaos is gonna arise. That's what I believe is next. So, especially in America. So, if you're not planning to get out of there, you might be stuck right in the midst of it. So, that's what I really believe is next. Peace is really going to get taken away.
Man, it's been taken away. If only they knew what peace was. I don't think we even knew what peace was until we left America. To be quiet, I don't think Americans even know what peace really is until you leave. And then you're like, oh, this is what life is supposed to be about. Wow. But, it's only for the remnant. So let it fall on those that the Most High has called beforehand. And that you just sum it up like that. You say amen, Selah, hallelujah, and let it be so.
Hallelujah. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hallelujah.
Aww.
Yes, thanks for tuning in, guys. We hope you enjoyed this content. We're gonna upload the property that we saw today. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Make sure you hit that bell notification to keep you updated. And if you haven't yet, follow members only to get behind the scenes, because we're gonna break down some properties that we seen, the cost, the what you can do to obtain it and stuff like that. So, you know, these are the times that we're in where you have to start thinking like that and trust the people that's here on the ground, such as us, because you know it's amazing things happening right in front of us. We just gotta step out on it, step out into it, and y'all's will be done. Really. So, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because this, I'll leave you guys with this. My last line of the night is, well, y'all's after you, but the last line of the night. Don't put property in your name. Put it in your name. That's what I'm gonna say. That's all I got.
Shalom, guys. Stay blessed. Seek peace, please. Seek peace. Find your peace somewhere where where you can just have that secret place, because it's going, some stuff is about to be happening super fast, and I hope that people can really hold on. And, this is our children. You guys say something? Say something. No? Okay. Why did you do that? Man, we can't have nothing nice. I'll tell you that. She just threw the whole microphone.
Oh God, it's time to get off.
Busted it up and all that.
Why did you throw it like that?
You guys say something. Say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Say all praise to the Most High. Shalom, guys. Hallelujah.
Shalom.
All right, G.